What's happening, gang? So, how I ended up as the voice on Me and My Girlfriend with Tupac on his last album, uh, it's interesting. Actually, he spent the night with us before, me and Eric's father. And we picked him up from a club that he didn't want to be at. And all he wanted to do was talk about this album that he was putting together and this idea that he had for a song called My Girlfriend. It originally wasn't named Me and My Girlfriend. So he gave me the concept and the idea. And he was talking about how he needed to bring the gun to life. Like it wasn't going to be the same if the gun didn't have a voice. And because I worked for Death Row Studios at the time, he didn't really ask me to do it. He kind of hinted for me to do it. But when I got to work after he recorded the song, I typically just get artists to come in and do things for other artists, not just him, Snoop, anybody. So I hired a couple of other girls to do that. And unfortunately, the engineers kept coming back like a week later telling me that it didn't work out and it didn't happen and it wasn't good enough. And it didn't have the compassion or not the compassion, it didn't have the passion that a gun would have. So the album needed to be turned in. And the engineers were like, we still don't have this song done. And I was like, what? You didn't get anybody that can pull it off? And they were like, no. So Pac see me in the hallway. He was like, why don't you just do it for me? Just get it done because we got to turn it in. Like it was time to turn in the album. So I'm like, okay. I go into the studio with the engineers, and honestly, I'm nervous because I'm working, and at the time, I wasn't making gangster music, you know. So he's just like, just do the engineer. He's like, all you got to do is just pretend to be a gun. So they play his vocals for me, right? And I'm like, okay, I don't know where I'm gonna pull this from, but I got a little actress in me too, right? So I told them that they got to pay me in a joint because they couldn't really pay me cash, but I needed to be paid for my time. So the engineer rolled me a joint, sends me into the booth and plays it for me again. Plays the first half, the intro. So I'm like, okay, I get a good count. And yeah, I take a hit of the joint, put the joint out, tell him to run it back, and that's how you get the intro. I just went for it. Motherfucking right. I'm the bitch that's keeping it live and keeping it hot. Well, you punk ass niggas don't. West side, what? Bring it on. And then boom, Pop comes right in, right? So I didn't even know I had that in me, y'all. No bull. Like I don't even know where that come from. So the engineers are like, let's play it back. Let's let you hear it. So they let me hear it and I timed it perfect. And it just, I don't know, it gave me something to work with. So they was like, we have another part. I thought I was done. So I like to join again. I'm thinking I'm done. They like, nah, don't come out the booth, right? Boom. So they like, we need something to go right here. It had none of the gunshots. It was just blank airtime. So they're like, after this, one shot, make a nigga heartbeat stop. What? I just went. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I made all the gunshots up in my head. All the pauses and all of that was literally me acting it out and no bull, y'all. The engineers that were mixing and mastering it came behind me and put all those gunshots, the sound of the bus going by and everything. And that's how we did Me and My Girlfriend.